Am I shutting up enough? Am I actually giving the people who I am leading, who I'm working with, the clear direction, the tools, and the resources they need to do their job, asking them questions, getting them set up to deliver? But once they're in that operational mode, once they're in the driver's seat, quite literally in the world of F1, what am I going to do to shut up and just let them drive that car? Hi, and welcome to Helping You Perform. I'm your host, Paul Teasdale. Over a career working with high-performing teams from across the globe, including 7 years working with Formula One team McLaren, I've learned a lot about what it takes to drive results. In this weekly podcast series, I'm going to be bringing you tips, tricks, and insights from the world of Formula One that you can apply for your organisation for your own high performance. Enjoy. Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of Helping You Perform, where I bring my tips, tricks, insights and stories from the world of F1 and beyond and help you apply them to accelerate your own performance. I hope you enjoyed last week's episode, episode 46, where I talked about some of the challenges and some of the considerations about managing high performers. It's not, often the conversation about how do I manage poor performers in my team, but not enough focus in my experience and my opinion is given to how do you manage high performers, particularly in the context of getting the most out of the whole team. In this week's episode, I want to talk about something that has come up through various conversations I've been having this week, which goes on the topic of communication. Now, I did an episode on this back in, a while back now, episode 11, I believe it was, specifically on communication and communication in the world of F1. And one of the things that are there is if you listen in on the team radio during a race, you're going to hear multiple bits of chatter, multiple bits of communication that are happening, but they're very deliberate in terms of what's happening and the words that are being said and when they're being, how they're being said and when they're being said. And one of the key bits, if you just purely listen to the channel that was the race engineer and the driver, remembering that the race engineer is the only person during a race who should really be speaking to the driver. They're there to take in all the noise, to hear about the decisions being made, to give some context, environmental context at pit side, just to see, what's actually happening in that race. What am I hearing from my driver? What am I understanding about the car's performance? And what am I going to communicate to the driver in a way that they are going to respond and give the performance that I need from them? But what's quite surprising to a lot of people is if you listen in on that race weekend, there's very little communication actually happening between the driver and the race engineer. The majority of the race, they're quiet. They're only communicating when they have to. And this is a really important skill, which is knowing when to shut up, knowing when to be quiet and just allow the people who are there delivering the performance that you've set them up to deliver, allow them to deliver. There's no point in having additional communication. There's no point in asking them how they're doing if you've already set up the protocols that they will tell you if there's a problem. So this is something that I often see in the world of business and a lot of the organizations I've worked in isn't given enough focus. When are we going to shut up? As leaders in this organization, what's our protocols for just allowing our people to crack on with the work that we've given them to do? Now think about this for yourself. How often have you been in that situation where your manager, your leader has given you a job to do? You're all set up, you might have the right tools and the right motivation, you're ready to go, and halfway through their job they're checking in on you, or they're dropping you an email and saying how things are going, and could you just give me an update here, and oh, by the way, someone's coming in, and can we just run an audit by you, and can we do this, and can we have a visitor come and watch what you're doing? You're just adding noise to the people who are there to deliver the value in your business. Now, what that world of F1 does really well is it says, when we do communicate, it has to be with purpose, it has to be clear, clearly understood, and it needs to be deliberate in terms of what it's there to communicate. So it's a really simple episode, really, because it's challenging you as leaders to think about, am I shutting up enough? Am I actually giving the people who I am leading, who I'm working with, the clear direction, the tools and the resources they need to do their job, asking them questions, getting them set up to deliver? But once they're in that operational mode, once they're in the driver's seat, quite literally in the world of F1, what am I going to do to shut up and just let them drive that car? Let them deliver the value that you've entrusted them to do and you're employing them to do. So this is my challenge for you today. Have a think about those situations where you can add more value by simply being quiet. As always, if you want to talk to me about any of this, if you want to share your experiences, you want to challenge me on any of this, you want to have a further conversation, reach out via paulteasdale.co.uk, set up a free 30-minute chat with me, and let's connect and let's see if I can shut up and simply listen to your problems, and we can share that value between ourselves and hopefully accelerate your performance. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Helping You Perform podcast. If you found value in this episode, please take a moment to like, share, or review the podcast. You can reach out to me at any time, either through LinkedIn or through my website at www.paulteasdale.co.uk. I look forward to speaking to you in the next episode.